In this video, I'm going to be discussing the solar tax credit, otherwise known as the investment tax credit. Hi, my name is Jaime Greene, the Solar Queen, and on my channel, I discuss all things residential and commercial solar. So thanks for watching today's video. It's a very important video if you have gone solar in 2021 or if you're planning to go solar in 2022, and you're gonna wanna stick around until the very end because I have some really important information to share with you about what happens if you wait and go solar in 2023. Okay, so you might be wondering, what exactly is the tax credit when it comes to getting solar installed? Well, the solar tax credit is a dollar for dollar federal income tax reduction. So if you have a tax liability, say of $15,000, and you go to work for a company and you fill out a W-2 and they have all your tax withholdings, and your tax withholdings is in excess of what your actual tax liability is, you likely get a tax return, right? Well, if you don't have enough tax withheld to cover your tax liability, you oftentimes end up owing the IRS a check. So when you go solar, and say your solar system is $40,000, that's pretty average here in California, and the tax credit will cover your solar system, anything that's required to make sure that solar can be operational, so things like a main service panel, things like that, that would be included in the solar agreement for the contractor to be an installer to be able to install the solar onto your rooftop. These things are all inclusive in the solar agreement and the cost of going solar. The thing is, if it's $40,000, regardless if you pay cash or if you finance it, you would be eligible for 26% of the cost to be covered by the tax credit, which is amazing. It's the way of the government saying we want as many homeowners to go green, to move over to renewable, sustainable energy, and we want to reward them in the form of a tax credit. This is not a tax rebate. There were some talks about the tax credit turning into a tax rebate and actually increasing back to 30%, which it was all the way up until the end of 2020. 2021 is when it reduced down to 26%. And in 2022, it remains 26%. So that's great. But this is a dollar for dollar tax credit. So if your system is $40,000, you would be eligible for $13,978. Now, I want to throw out a disclaimer. I am not a tax consultant. I am not a CPA. I would highly recommend you speak with your tax preparer, consultant, or CPA about what you would be eligible for if you went solar in 2022. And if you went solar in 2021, you're probably getting ready to prepare your tax return. If you went solar in 2021, this tax credit may be also included on that. The cutoff date really comes down to whether or not the solar system was installed on your rooftop by the end of 2021. Some tax preparers might be sticklers and say, nope, it has to be PTO'd by the end of 2021, and technically that is correct. Depending on your comfort level and your tax preparer, CPA's comfort level, it's a gray area. So I'm gonna leave it up to you guys to make that decision, but there has been things saying that as long as there's been forward progress and the solar system is actually installed on your rooftop or on a ground mount, then go ahead and apply for it. But if you don't wanna risk it, you can wait until the following year. So that's good news, because oftentimes people will finance their solar systems, because when you finance it, there's typically no money out of pocket to go solar. And the lenders will give you 18 months to collect the tax credit, the 26% tax credit, and pay down the loan. Because oftentimes these lenders give 18 months and they re-amortize it at month 19. Now, if you take the tax credit and you apply it towards your loan, then your monthly payments will stay fixed at what they started at for the first 18 months. If you don't have the tax liability to be able to cover the entire tax credit, then you will have to come up with the difference to pay down the loan if you want to keep your payments fixed. The IRS doesn't care how you pay for your solar system, neither does the government, neither does the solar company. But we don't know your individual tax situation. You may be in that situation where you didn't have enough withheld, or you didn't put enough away or pay estimated taxes accordingly, and you actually end up owing the IRS, say it's $5,000, if that's the case, then when this example of a $40,000 system, if you end up owing $5,000, well, the tax credit will cover that $5,000, and then you would only get, what is that, $8,978 back. Well, the lenders are going to anticipate that you put the $13,978 back towards the loan to fix in those lower payments. Otherwise, if you can't come up with that, then you can take what you get back from the IRS. Say if you owe $5,000 and the tax credit covers that $5,000 and you get the $8,978 back, you can take that and you can pay down the loan. It'll reamortize higher than what you've been currently paying, but not to that 100% payment, if that makes sense. Hopefully your solar advisor educated you on that, and if you want me to be your solar advisor or solar rep, please reach out to me at www.jamiegreenthesolarqueen.com. I'm happy to have a discussion with you about going solar in 2022. Okay, so going back to the tax credit. The tax credit is literally going to be a check from the IRS. If you had enough tax liability to cover the entire $13,978 or whatever is equivalent to your 26% tax credit that you're eligible for, you just need to make sure your tax liability exceeds that. And if it doesn't, the tax credit never really expires. So it'll roll over into the next year's tax season. Again, I'm not a tax consultant or advisor, so please consult your tax consultant and CPA about this. So you may be wondering, how do I know if I'm eligible for this tax credit? And that's a great question. This primarily applies to people where it's their primary residence or a vacation home, and solar is the primary source of electricity. So it has to be a new system, and you have to own the system. So if you lease your solar system, you will not be eligible for the tax credit. If you sign a power purchase agreement, you will not be eligible for the tax credit. You have to purchase it. This applies to rooftop solar as well as ground mounts and anything that's involved with making that solar system become operational for you. So where do you go to find out more about this solar tax credit or the investment tax credit? You're going to want to go to the irs.gov website, and the form is 5695. So it's literally a one-page document, and you're going to only fill out a couple of lines. And it's literally like if it's a $40,000 system, you're going to write $40,000 in there, and then you're going to multiply it by 26%, and then it spits out to be $13,978. So your net cost out of pocket is $26,022, which is an incredible deal when you think about going solar. I'm going to put some links in the description of this video that will give you some more information for you to check out about the investment tax credit or the solar tax credit so that you can go and do some research yourself. Other thing that I wanted to let you know is this applies to batteries as well. So anything that's added to the cost to go solar is oftentimes included in your solar agreement as well as in your financing. And again, this applies to whether you pay cash or if you finance the system. You just need to be the owner of the solar system. It needs to be for your home, your second home, or vacation home. You just need it to be placed into service in the year that you went solar and the year that you're going to be filing for your tax return. We just finished up 2021, so anyone that got solar in 2021 and is at least installed, again, have that conversation with your tax consultant. You should be able to go ahead and apply for the tax credit for 2021 when you filed this year. If signed in November and December and nothing's installed on your rooftop, you're gonna have to wait till 2022 to file for that, and that's okay. Okay, so I hope that this video was really, really helpful to you and gave you some more information of how the solar tax credit works. Please make sure to like this video, and if you haven't yet subscribed to my channel, please subscribe so that you can be informed and learn all the things that you need to know about going solar, because it is quite a big transition going from traditional energy to solar energy. And if you get batteries, that's a whole nother thing that's really, really exciting. I had a homeowner yesterday call me and say, this Tesla battery is incredible. I'm so excited that it's installed, and The technology is really fantastic, especially when you live in an area where the utility imposes time of use, which most of them do, and it's very expensive energy from 4 to 9 p.m. So batteries are a wonderful solution to offset the time of use, as well as give you peace of mind if there's ever a power outage. Now, if you have been sitting to the end of this video, thank you for watching to the very end, and here's the important announcement that I have. If you wait to go solar in 2023, yes, because we're in 2022 now, the tax credit is going to be reducing down to 22%. So I don't want you to miss out on getting solar installed this year. And there's some things that are happening in the state of California where the CPUC, or the California Public Utility Commissioner, may be authorizing the change of NEM 2.0 to NEM 3.0. It would be disastrous for the solar industry. California happens to be the leader in solar, and if California adopts this, I wouldn't be surprised if more states roll this out. So make sure if you're interested in going solar, you get it installed in 2022. And again, reach out to me. I would be happy to have that conversation with you about making the switch to solar. I can help homeowners in several states, not just California, but in several states. So please check out my website. It's in the description below, and or put in the comments, hey, I'm interested in solar, and we can somehow connect that way. All right, guys, I hope that you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.